Hi my little butterflies, and welcome to the complete read-through of Reversed. This long video contains every single part of Reversed, which has taken ages to complete. This audiofic was written by me, Lazy, in January, a very long time ago, but we only see fit that we turn it into a very large compilation. In this series, I am a part writer and a voice actor.
Hi, I'm Lacey, and I'm the part editor for the series, one of the main writers, and a voice actor. This series, oh my gosh, so cringy. But hey, it's years old.
Hi, I'm January, and I'm also part editor, writer, and voice actress for this series. You guys don't know how much secondhand embarrassment we've gotten from this series alone.
So finally, after almost 600 days since the first chapter of this audiofic has been released, we bring the very long journey of the entire read-through of Reversed. Now, for one final time.
Part 1. Memories raced through her mind. Voices spoke. Uno!
The box will only be opened by a soulmate's kiss, a kiss of true love.
She saw herself.
You must trust Sha.
Night-night.
The voice laughed. She looked forward, bringing her back from the dream. Cold sweat covered her face.
What was that? A dream? It felt so real.
She opened her hand, revealing a red with black spotted USB.
What's this?
She didn't think much of it and placed it on the side table. Marinette got up and realized where she was.
I'm in Adrien's house.
She was confused. Had she blacked out and Adrien found her? She heard something move inside of a drawer.
Hello? Is anyone there?
She whispered, cautiously stepping towards the sound. Marinette opened the door and noticed a black void. Though it wasn't a void, it had a face and a mouth. Rather small.
Plagg?
He turned around.
Marinette?
Plagg asked through chews.
What are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
He asked.
Me? I don't know.
She shut it off before noticing a camouflaged version of the black cat Miraculous on her finger.
What the hell happened to Tikki?
I have no idea. Where's Adrien?
Plagg screamed. Before she could register what Plagg had said, they heard a knock on the door.
Marinette, are you awake?
The door opened. Marinette felt slightly relieved. Maybe she'd tell her why she was there. She shoved the drawer back, hiding Plagg from the sight of anyone. Natalie walked in.
Marinette, you have a photo shoot in 2 hours.
Okay?
Marinette stuttered.
Alright, meet me downstairs in 45 minutes for breakfast.
Natalie replied.
Okay!
She tried to act like this was normal and she wasn't in some weird-ass reality. The door closed as Natalie left the room and Plagg flew out of the door. Marinette couldn't believe what was happening. Natalie sounded completely unfazed and normal. Was Marinette the only one who felt off? She stared at Plagg, who ate a piece of camembert whole, and a thought crossed her mind. Chat Noire. She needed to find Chat Noire.
Plagg, we need to go.
Marinette said urgently.
Hold up!
No time! Plagg, claws out!
She transformed into Lady Noire and exited out of the open window. She quickly found her way across buildings and rooftops to the place Chat Noire and her always went. The Eiffel Tower. She saw a red blur land on the tower and ran faster. She vaulted herself to the top and landed next to Mr. Bug.
My lady!
He remarked at the sight of her.
Nice to see you too, Chat Noire.
Her heart fluttered with nerves.
It's Mr. Bug now.
He flexed his arm muscles and smirked.
But can you do me a favor and switch back?
She rolled her eyes.
And I was just getting used to it, but yeah, I wouldn't want you persuading Tikki to tell you my secret identity.
Mr. Bug smirked.
I can do it either way. Plagg knows your identity now.
She faltered, her eyes growing wide.
I forgot about that.
But don't worry, I won't ask. But Bug's honor.
He fumbled, catching his small mistake. She smiled.
Thanks. Now, come on, we need to switch back. This suit's doing something to me.
Lady Noire walked to the room on top of the tower, and Mr. Bug stayed outside. They transformed, and their kwamis took the jewels to their owners.
Tikki!
Marinette remarked when she saw Tikki.
I'm so glad you're back.
Me too, Marinette!
Tikki squealed. Marinette transformed in 3 words and exited the room to find Chat Noire waiting for her, leant against the side of the wall, face pulled into a smirk.
Hey, Bugaboo.
He said flirtatiously. Something inside of her wanted to keep up with this act.
Hey to you.
She slid her finger against his jawline, stopping at the tip of his chin. His face went red, but he kept up and grabbed her hand, pulling it to his lips and pressing a kiss against the palm of her hand. She broke first, face going red.
Okay, that's enough.
She pulled her hand back.
You crack.
he said, getting up from his position against the wall.
Funny.
She said sarcastically, walking past him. The sun was now high in the sky, and the breeze slightly kicked in. Nothing looked different. What changed? Why had she woken up in Adrien's bedroom with Chat Noir's Miraculous? Could it be?
It'll be.
Chat asked, bringing her back from her thoughts. She turned around.
Huh? I was asking you what you thought about everything that happened this morning.
Chat Noir explained.
Oh, right. Okay, let's go over what we know.
Marinette blinked a couple of times to clear her mind.
Well, I woke up in a different house, and I had your Miraculous.
He crossed his arm.
Me too, except... Did you have a USB stick when you woke up?
A USB stick?
He thought back to when he woke up. Something in his clothes was, which, if his memory served him right, was red with black dots.
Red and black dots?
Ladybug nodded.
That's the one?
What's on it?
He asked.
I don't know, maybe documents, videos, photos. It could be anything, to be honest.
She said.
Documents. Maybe one of them is written by you, where you confess your undying love for me.
Chat Noir smirked, placing his hand on his chest dramatically. She scolded him with her eyes.
Pedo?
So you're saying you're underage?
He raised his eyebrows.
No, I'm saying you seem like the type of guy to be into that stuff.
If you're underage, then yes, I am.
He winked at her.
To be fair, I'm also underage, so nothing's wrong there.
Shut up. We aren't supposed to know this stuff about each other.
Come on, we're really still doing this?
Ladybug glared.
Okay then, erase it from your memory. You didn't hear anything.
He wiggled his fingers in front of him as if performing a magic spell. A small smile formed on her lips.
Fine, I'll give you this much. We both are.
She turned away.
Wait, actually?
He stepped closer.
Does that mean it's possible we go to the same school? Do you think we know each other?
Ladybug twirled around her, placed her index finger on his lips, shushing him.
Enough questions. I don't want to be seen as a pedo.
He stared at her confused. What did she mean? It hit him, because he was acting like a 10-year-old. She continued.
I think we should go check out the USBs. Hopefully no love confessions, or else someone may have drugged me.
She smiled.
We meet back here soon?
It'll never be soon enough.
Chat Noir winked.
How's tomorrow sound?
Ladybug suggested.
Tomorrow? Really? You're gonna make me wait a whole day?
Keep talking and I'll make it 2.
She smirked, walking towards the railing.
2? Really?
He protested while following her.
It might just be 3 now.
She said over her shoulder.
Actually?
No.
She turned to face him.
Just 1. See you soon.
With that, Ladybug jumped off the tower and swung, leaving Chat Noir. Part 2. Despite everything weird that's happened, Marinette's parents' bakery looked pretty much the same. Marinette entered the bakery through the back door and ran up the stairwell. She opened her purse to look for her house key. The only thing was it wasn't there. She thought she might have dropped it on her way here, so she lifted the welcome mat for the spare key. Marinette fumbled to put it in and turned the lock. Marinette pushed open the door and climbed the stairs to her room. Her room looked slightly different, though. Some of her decorations were replaced, and her newest hat, which she was working on, was also different, like someone else had lived there. After a quick look around, she sat on the chair and turned on her computer. She put in her usual password. Adrien. Heart. And it was incorrect. Her brows furrowed in confusion, and she put her hand behind the monitor where she always kept a sticky note with her current password, and just in case she forgot it. She read the sticky note. Marinette. Heart. Something wasn't right. First off, she never changed her password, or that she didn't remember changing it. And for second, even if she did change it, why would she change it to herself? Marinette shrugged and typed in the password to be met with her own face. Now it was getting creepy. It was the same background she had before, but instead of Adrien's face, her own stared back at her.
What the...
She uttered. Tikki flew out of Marinette's purse and said,
That's weird. Yeah, really weird.
Marinette agreed. She plugged in the USB and a folder name just in case popped up on the screen. There were hundreds of photos and videos, but they were different. They were all pictures of her. She opened one of her in front of the Dupenching bakery with her parents, Tom and Sabine, popped up.
Tikki, this doesn't make sense. These are all photos of me in front of the bakery with my friends.
Marinette said.
If this was from your lucky charm, it has to be useful somehow.
Tikki suggested.
I guess you're right, but I don't understand how this helps me. And why is it named Just In Case?
Marinette's face filled with worry. Suddenly they heard footsteps coming up the stairs. Marinette froze and Tikki flew into the purse.
Adrien, honey, it's time for lunch.
A woman said in a sweet voice, one Marinette never heard before. The trapdoor opened and a blonde head popped through. She had green eyes like Adrien's and an angular face.
Emilie?
Marinette whispered. They locked eyes.
Who are you? Where's Adrien? Get out of my house!
Emilie screamed.
What? What do you mean? This is my room!
She points at the walls but notices where she had pictures of Adrien are now her.
Get out now before I call the police!
Emilie said sternly. Marinette gulped and unplugged the USB from their computer, passing Emilie and leaving through the side entrance. It didn't make sense. Emilie died a year ago. How was she here and why was she in Marinette's house? She peeked through the window of the bakery, and there she saw a man who never left his house serving someone bread. Gabriel aggressed. Her head pounded with a question, but she walked to the front of the bakery, which read, Gabriel and Emilie's Boulangerie et Pâtisserie. Her jaw dropped in shock. The aggressed mansion was quieter than usual. Adrien tiptoed to his room where he noticed things had changed. Colors had been added and a vanity sat on one end. He didn't think much of it and sat on his chair. He woke up to the monitor and noticed his background had changed, to Marinette's mom, Sabine. He didn't remember doing that, but why Sabine? He typed in his password, Ladybug, my love, and it wouldn't let him in. Adrien got up and picked up a photo where he kept his password. The photo, which was supposed to be Ladybug, was Mr. Bug? He never printed that out. What was it doing here? He shrugged and turned over to the password, which was now, Mr. Bug, my love.
What?
He questioned. He typed in the password and it finally opened. Adrien plugged in the USB and a folder opened called, It is also, just in case. Also, he scrolled through the photos and there were all pictures of him. Some modeling, some just him walking around. There were a couple of photos of Chat Noire saving Paris. He tilted his head. No left confessions. Damn,
Plagg, there are all these pictures of me modeling in magazines.
Adrien said.
If you ask me, I would prefer the menu of select aged cheese with free shipping.
Plagg slipped a piece of camembert down his throat. Adrien rolled his eyes.
Always thinking with your stomach.
What else am I supposed to do?
Plagg said, annoyance creeping into his voice. Adrien opened his mouth to say something, but was interrupted by someone rapping on the door. They fell silent.
Marinette, your photo shoot is in 20 minutes.
The door opened and Natalie's head was visible. She stared at him.
What are you doing in Marinette's room? What do you mean? Natalie, it's me. I will have to call the police if you do not leave.
Natalie said sternly. Though, deathly confused, he continued with,
Sorry. Marinette invited me over and went to the bathroom right now. Anyways, I have to go. Have a nice day.
He grabbed the USB stick and ran out the door of the room. He only stopped when he saw someone who shouldn't be there. You. Aren't you the kid that works at the bakery? Tom asked.
Yeah, I guess I am.
Adrien replied, still very confused. I didn't know Marinette had a guest over. Where is she? He asked.
She went to the bathroom. Sir, I have to go. My dad called me. Have a nice day.
He quickly made his way down the steps, only glancing over his shoulder to once see that the painting which once displayed him and his father, now displayed Marinette and Tom. This had to be a joke, right? Part 3. It was odd sleeping in Adrien's bed, but Natalie kept telling her it was hers and it always has been. It confused her more than anything, but today she's gonna ask Alia at school. Natalie dropped her off in front of the school and Marinette bolted out, searching for Alia.
Alia!
She screamed once Alia was in view.
Oh, hey, girl.
Alia remarked. She was wearing jeans and her boyfriend's blue shirt.
Oh good, you still remember.
Marinette sighed.
Remember what?
Alia asked while pulling out headphones from her bag.
Whose headphones are those?
Marinette faltered.
They're mine.
Alia continues.
I've always had them. Are you okay, Marinette?
Yeah.
Oh, and I need the costumes from Adrien's if you could get them. I'm DJing for my sister's birthday party next week. You're gonna be there, right? Or is modeling going to interfere again?
Wait, I am so confused right now. You? DJing? I thought Nino was DJing for your sister's party. And why is Adrien making the costumes? I could if you want.
Marinette questioned.
Girl, you got it all wrong. It's the opposite. I'm the DJ. Nino made the Mr. Blog. Also, Adrien makes great costumes. To be honest, you probably couldn't even make a tiny beanie to save your life.
What? What happened to the Ladybug?
Marinette hesitated.
The what? Marinette, are you sure you're okay?
Alia doubted.
Yeah.
She looked down at her purse.
I just need to use the restroom really quickly.
Marinette ran to the girls' locker room and into the restroom, locking herself into a stall.
Tikki, did you hear that?
Tikki poked her head out of the purse.
If you mean Alia saying that she DJs, then yes.
Tikki said.
It's not just that. Alia said it was the Mr. Blog.
She said, putting an emphasis on Mr.
That's why when we woke up yesterday, Shanor had you and I had Plagg.
Okay, but then why do we remember what happened and no one else?
Tikki questioned.
I don't know. It's like we're in a reversed world.
Marinette assumed. Suddenly she remembered something.
I remember! We were playing a game of Uno and I placed an Uno reverse card. Nino won, but Mark and Aya got mad, so they got akumatized. And then you and Adrien mysteriously left. And moments later, Ladybug and Chat Noire appeared.
Tikki finished.
You don't think Adrien is Chat Noire? I mean, Adrien is so much more legit than Chat Noire, and they have nothing in common.
Marinette trailed off.
But I guess that would explain why I woke up in his house instead of mine. It would, but still, why do we only know what's happening? I don't know, Tikki, but I have a feeling we're gonna find out soon.
Marinette replied before walking into the bathroom to her first period class. As expected, everything and everyone was reversed. Miss Bustier, the once loving and kind teacher, was now grouchy and rude, like Miss Nadja. Marinette also had to sit in the front row rather than the second row she'd normally sat in. Don't forget to read pages 20 through 64 and write at least 4 pages on it, Miss Bustier remarked. As the bell rang, all 15 students fled the room, including Marinette. She ran into a nearby alley and transformed.
Let's go see Chat Noire,
she whispered to herself. As she was flinging herself to the Eiffel Tower, she noticed the gray skies and noted that it was about to rain. Ladybug landed and waited for him to show up.
Ugh, where is that cat?
Ladybug whined.
Right here, my lady.
He landed behind her and bowed.
So, the photos on your USB, what were they?
Well, I can't tell you exactly, but let's just say they were all of me in my civilian form.
Chat Noire said.
Okay, me too.
Ladybug agreed.
Anything unusual?
As in...
I don't know, like, different?
Maybe, I don't know. How are we supposed to fix this if we can't even look at each other's USBs?
Chat Noire asked.
For once, you have a good point.
Ladybug wondered possible solutions and one would go its way to the front.
Under normal circumstances, I would never suggest this, but this is definitely not normal.
What do you mean?
I mean, we
She took a deep breath.
have to reveal our identities.
Part 4.
Reveal our identities! Are you crazy? We'll have to give up our Miraculouses!
Chat Noire half yelled.
No, we wouldn't. Did you have a dream about us fighting an akumatized person?
Ladybug inquired.
Yes?
He hesitated.
What does that have to do with anything?
It means that this whole fiasco
She put her hands in the air and waved them.
was caused by an akuma.
He scrunched up his forehead.
Its name was...
Lady Reverser.
She replied.
They switched our lives.
He recalled. Ladybug nodded.
So if we destroy the akumatized object, my ladybugs would fix everything and...
We could forget everything!
He exclaimed.
Exactly!
No, I said could. We don't know for sure.
He said.
What? But we don't remember Oblivio.
She countered, crossing her arms over her chest.
We don't remember Oblivia because they erased our memories. It doesn't mean we forget everything this time. There's a chance we'll remember. And I can't let you risk this, especially if that means not being able to see you again.
He protested, holding the sides of her arms.
Sha.
He sighed and released his hands from her arms.
If that's what you want, then so be it.
Thank you, Sha.
She smiled.
How do you want to do it?
We could just say it.
Chat Noire suggested.
You wanna go first?
Ladybug smiled awkwardly. This is definitely not how they imagined finding out each other's identities.
It's okay. You can... Ladies first.
He gestured towards her. Ladybug bit her lip.
How about we say it at the same time?
Chat Noire nodded.
Alright then.
Ladybug took a deep breath.
Okay. 1, 2...
Wait, are we saying like, hi, I'm...
Noire interrupted.
I don't know. Sure, I guess.
Ladybug hesitated.
Okay. Ready?
Chat Noire nodded.
3,
2,
2, 1.
1.
Hi, I'm...
They both started before Chat Noire burst out laughing.
I'm so sorry, milady. The hi I am is getting to me.
Chat Noire laughed once he could speak. Ladybug rolled her eyes.
Okay. How about we just de-transform?
Really? I don't think you'll be able to resist me if we did that.
He smirked. Ladybug sighed.
Let's just get this over with.
Okay.
Chat Noire took a deep breath before they counted down.
3,
3,
2,
2,
1.
1. Spots off.
Ladybug said at the same time Chat Noire said.
Clausen.
A magical transformation trailed up their bodies. They stared at each other as their masks slowly disappeared along with the rest of their costumes. Her stomach churned. After all this time, she was about to find out who he was. But she was scared he'd not like her. It was stupid. He probably didn't even know her. Most of his facial features stayed the same. His eyes, hair, his build. But he looked familiar.
Adrien?
Marinette yelled, covering her mouth with her hand. Plagg reappeared from the ring.
Finally! Anyway, does anyone have cheese?
This is getting interesting!
Tikki snapped at Plagg, covering his mouth from speaking any longer. Adrien's jaw opened in shock. His mouth slowly curled into a smile. He chuckled.
Marinette, this is perfect.
He put both hands on her shoulders.
Maybe now isn't the best time, but I love you.
His eyebrows upturned in a loving way. She could feel her cheeks redden. This was still the same Cat Noire. Why did this affect her more now that he looked like Adrien Auguste?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Marinette squeaked.
You're Adrien Auguste. I know you. And you just said you loved me.
Adrien chuckled.
Yeah, I did.
Is now a good time to say I feel the same?
She hesitated, hoping this wasn't too awkward of a situation. His smile widened.
Now is perfect.
He leaned closer to her, pulling her in by wrapping his arm around her waist. Marinette hesitated before cupping his cheek in her hand and closing her eyes.
Ha ha ha! Your time is up, Ladybug and Cat Noire. Or should I say, Marinette and Adrien?
A voice suddenly announced. Marinette and Adrien whipped their heads around to find a broadcast being projected in the sky. A person with purple hair and a black and white suit continued.
You have failed everyone!
A purple orb shot in the sky and it grew by the second.
And now it's time for you to pay.
Marinette turned her head to Adrien.
We're too late.
Adrien placed his hands on her shoulder.
Milady, we will fix everything.
Marinette's breath drew fast.
I...
Through the corner of Adrien's eye, he noticed a beam of purple headed towards both him and Marinette, and he pushed her away. Marinette yelped from impact to the ground, a searing pain against her side. Another beam conjured from the orb above them, this time spilling out Marinette.
Marinette!
Adrien screamed, reaching towards her. It was too late. Her body faded in an unpleasant scream, leaving Adrien by himself. Just as he was about to transform, a beam hit him. A sensation he never felt before took over. It tickled, but hurt. He attempted to call out to Marinette, but he couldn't. A flash of white light blinded him. And then darkness. Part 5. Marinette shuffled under the covers of her bed. The lights flooded in through her room and she sighed.
Marinette!
Plagg sang. Marinette sighed once more.
What do you want, Plagg?
As a magical being, I require substance, preferably cheese.
Plagg said. Marinette groaned.
Okay, I get it, but I don't know why you always have to wake me up like this. You know there's always cheese in the drawer.
Yeah, but if I don't wake you up, then how else am I supposed to annoy someone?
Plagg flew over to the drawer and disappeared inside of it. Marinette yawned while stretching her arms upward. There was a knock on the door and it opened.
Marinette, are you awake?
Natalie asked. Marinette nodded at the sight of her.
Yes, Natalie.
Good. You have school in 57 minutes.
Alright, thank you, Natalie. I'll be down soon.
Marinette smiled as Natalie left the room and closed the door behind her. Plagg faced through the door and sat on one of her fencing trophies, gulping down another piece of camembert.
Don't get caught by anyone.
Marinette warned Plagg while walking into the bathroom. He replied through chewing,
I won't.
Adrien, your alarm has been going off for 30 minutes now. Get up before you're late to school.
Tikki prodded Adrien with her hand.
Ugh, 5 more minutes.
Adrien said drearily, pulling the blanket over his face. Tikki sighed and flew into his ear.
Adrien, wake up!
He bolted up from the sudden volume in his ear.
Okay, I'm up.
He sighed and hauled himself out of bed. Hey, my dude. Nino held out his fist for Adrien once he ran to school.
Hey, man.
He returned the fist bump. Nino wrapped his arm around Adrien's shoulder. So, still having problems with a certain someone? Adrien sighed.
Yeah, it's not getting any better than it was in the beginning of the year. Well, after the part where I hated her.
Hey, guys!
Marinette and Ollie walked up to Nino and Adrien. Adrien's face flushed and he stuttered.
Hey, Marinette.
Alia's brows furrowed in confusion.
You okay, Adrien?
Adrian's eyes widened.
Yeah, I'm good. Is it getting hot out here?
He fanned his face, only adding to the redness.
Isn't Marinette? I mean, she's not like hot at all. I mean, like, she's cute. But it's not like that.
Marinette smiled awkwardly.
I didn't notice any heat difference, but thanks, Adrien.
Marinette and Alia take their leave as the bell rings.
Adrien's kind of cute, isn't he, Mari?
Alia said, a smirk on her face. Marinette scoffs.
Really? I mean, you go, girl, but he's just a friend to me.
They walked to their first period with Miss Mendeley, who was animatedly talking to Rose with her long blonde hair and Julika with her dark pixie cut. So, Nino started to Adrien. What are you getting Marinette for her birthday next week? He asked. Adrien slid into his seat in the second row, right behind Marinette's.
Well, I kind of have her next 7 birthday presents already planned, so...
He raised his shoulders and smiled awkwardly. Nino shook his head. Dude, you're lovesick. Part 6. The room bustled with sound from every direction, waiting for the second bell to ring.
All right, everyone settle down.
Miss Mendeley clapped her hands.
To start off our day on a positive foot, we're going to start with complimenting a random person. Let's start with Sabrina and Julika.
Sabrina scoffed and walked to the front of the room with Julika. Sabrina rolled her eyes.
You're less annoying today, and that's good.
Julika smiled.
You look very nice today, Sabrina.
Sabrina glared at Julika.
What do you mean today? I always look nice.
She flicked her hair behind her and slid into the seat next to Chloe.
Move, Chloe, you're too close.
Chloe shifted away from Sabrina in an attempt to please her. Of course, Sabrina, she mumbled. Miss Mendeley sighed.
Okay, let's see. How about Adrien and Marinette next?
Adrien gulped and stood up. He prayed he didn't accidentally make a fool out of himself in front of Marinette. But of course, everything was against him, and he tripped over an extended leg. Sabrina snickered at the sight of Adrien falling.
Let me help you up.
Marinette extended her hand, and Adrien grabbed it.
Thanks, Marinette.
He stuttered as Marinette pulled him up. Marinette smiled in return and continued her path to the front of the room. Miss Mendeley adjusted for Marinette to start as soon as Adrien made it up to the front of the room.
Adrien.
Marinette started while smiling.
I really like how you always help others out, even when you're busy.
Adrien's face glowed.
Thanks. I like how you're always kind towards me. Everyone, you have a blooming personality? Boring!
Sabrina yawned. Adrien's face flushed in embarrassment and he tripped on air, bumping into Marinette in the process.
Sorry!
Miss Mendeley smiled.
Alright. Next.
Dude, you gotta stop stuttering in front of Marinette. She's not gonna fall for you, Nino said.
I know, it's just that she's so amazing and gorgeous and...
Adrien was cut off. Okay, I get it, dude. Nino interrupted, a hint of annoyance creeping into his voice. Adrien felt his phone vibrate in his pocket, and he pulled it out to see the news.
Don't be bemused, it's just the news. There seems to be an akumatized person that goes by the name Zombizou, terrorizing innocent civilians at the Eiffel Tower. Mr. Bug and Lady Noire have yet to come.
Nadja Chammack explained. Oh my god, I have to go film Mr. Bug in action, Nino exclaims, pulling out his phone. I'll catch you later, Adrien. He ran off towards the Eiffel Tower, leaving Adrien by himself. He opened his jacket and Tikki flew out.
We have to go save Paris, Tikki,
Adrien announced.
You know the words!
Tikki squeaked.
Tikki, spots on!
Part 7.
Not so fast, Zombizou!
Mr. Bug landed in front of Zombizou on the Eiffel Tower. Only seconds later, his partner arrived next to him.
Hey, Bugga Boy.
She smirked. Mr. Bug shook his head.
Not now, kitten. It's a new Akuma today.
Zombizou swiped a few kisses off her lips, headed towards both Mr. Bug and Lady Noire.
Look out!
Lady Noire pushed him out of the way, falling on top of him. She winked at him and he sighed and pushed her off.
Come on, we have to defeat Zombizou.
He got up and pulled out his black spotted yo-yo. All of Paris will hug and kiss. No more hate, Zombizou exclaimed.
I think it's time for my lucky charm!
Mr. Bug threw his yo-yo into the air, the tube words igniting a magical reaction. A red and black spotted tube of purple lipstick dropped down into Mr. Bug's hand.
What am I going to do with lipstick?
He glanced around, trying to find anything to help him defeat Zombizou, till his gaze landed on Lady Noire and her lips glowed in red and black. He blushed.
Here.
He handed her the tube and her brows furrowed.
Okay, what am I supposed to do with this?
She held up the tube to get a better view of it. Mr. Bug leaned in and whispered his plan into Lady Noire's ear, even though she's mentally screaming in joy. She said,
Okay.
To start their plan, Lady Noire applied a generous coat of lipstick to her lips and got into character.
Mr. Bug, run! I'll be Zombizou in seconds!
I'm not leaving you.
Mr. Bug said firmly, holding onto her shoulders. Lady Noire rolls her eyes and sticks out her lips.
Kissy poo.
No, 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 no!
He cried. Lady Noire leaned in, but he recoiled.
Come here.
She grabbed his face and pressed her lips to his. She melted against him and he pulled away. He blinked.
Kissu!
Zombizou laughed. Yes, now bring your miraculous, my lovelies. They walked robotically up to her and reached for their own jewels.
Now!
Mr. Bug screamed, stealing the lipstick from Zombizou. No! Zombizou wailed. Mr. Bug threw the tube of lipstick to Lady Noire, who called for a cataclysm as soon as she touched the object.
No more doing for you, little Akuma. Time to de-evilize.
His yo-yo opened and swallowed the dark butterfly.
Gotcha.
He pressed the middle spot on the yo-yo and it opened once more, releasing the pure butterfly.
Bye-bye, little butterfly.
Lady Noire handed him the tube of lipstick they used to defeat Zombizou, and he threw it into the air.
Miraculous Mr. Bug!
A swarm of ladybugs flew around the entirety of Paris, fixing the damage caused by Zombizou. The people on the Eiffel Tower returned to normal and Lady Noire smiled. Mr. Bug's power was amazing. She always wished one day she could do that too. They turned their attention to Miss Bustier, sitting helplessly on the floor. What happened? Mr. Bug approached her.
You were akumatized, but you're safe now.
She gasped. It's one of my students. She's always on my nerves, but I can't do anything or I'll lose my job. Lady Noire knelt down.
Sometimes you just don't do anything. Be the bigger person. Maybe that student will figure it out on their own.
Miss Bustier smiled. Thank you, Lady Noire. Mr. Bug flashed a smile at Lady Noire before returning to Miss Bustier.
Do you need us to bring you back home, or...?
No, thank you. You kids should rest, really. She got up. Running around all of Paris must be exhausting. Lady Noire chuckled.
Yeah, well, it's the life of a superhero.
Alright, thank you both again. She waved goodbye and walked herself to the elevator.
That was really mature of you, Noire.
Lady Noire smirked.
And that's enough for today, so...
She stepped closer to him.
You're a pretty good kisser.
His face warmed.
Look at that, we're about to transfer back. See you soon, bug out.
He grabbed his yo-yo and grappled onto something far into the distance, swinging off the tower. She smiled.
Classic.
Part 8. Dude, you'll never guess what I saw, Nino exclaimed. Nino was over at Adrien's house to hang out and help him with his problems with Marinette.
What?
Adrien asked. Get this, I saw Mr. Bug and Lady Noire basically making out on the Eiffel Tower. Nino grinned. He'd always been so adamant in getting any information he could about their relationship. Adrien's face turned red.
Well, maybe they were zombie-zoofied.
Nino shook his head. No, they were just pretending. I saw. They were about to give up their miraculous, but then they destroyed the Akuma. Also, it would just be a peck if they weren't pretending. Their kiss was way too long for there not to be any feelings.
Well, maybe they were trying to make it seem extra real, to confuse Zombizou.
Adrien suggested, shrugging. I guess, but I think they're dating. Plus, Lady Noire is really cute. Nino finished, watching Adrien's reaction. Adrien felt a small warmth in his cheeks.
She might be, but my heart belongs to Marinette.
Nino sighed. Adrien, if you really like Marinette, then why do you not call her?
I don't have her number, though.
Adrien trailed off. Nino smirked. But I do. He wiggled his eyebrows playfully.
But Nino...
No buts. You're calling her. Nino grabbed his phone and opened it, scrolling through his contacts before finding Marinette's. Here. He handed the phone to Adrien, who reluctantly pressed the call button. It rang.
Oh my god, it's ringing, it's ringing, it's ringing.
The phone stopped ringing, and then a voice spoke that sounded like Marinette.
It's Marinette's voicemail. Leave a message.
It beeped, and Adrien began talking.
Hello? Marinette's voicemail.
Nino facepalmed beside him.
This is Adrien, who has a message for you, of course, because it's, your phone, so,
He chuckled.
Call me, see you later, bye!
Adrien threw the phone on the chase, and Nino stared exasperatedly at him.
What? What did you expect me to say? Hey, cutie, this is Adrien. I asked you on a date to the movies, but I got such a crazy crush on you that the only way I can talk to you without foaming at the mouth is over this stupid phone. Pretty ridiculous, right?
Adrien crossed his arms. A robotic voice then spoke. If you wish to save your message, press 1. If you wish to erase your message, press 2. Hit 2, hit 2! Nino spluttered. Adrien dove for the phone. Marinette could not hear the message. He pressed the screen and the robotic voice said, Message saved. Bye-bye. Adrien watched the phone motionless. He did not just do that. Yes, that's it. Smile, Marinette. Marinette's photographer instructed. Marinette obeyed and widened her already big smile. The photographer took a couple more photos from various angles. Alright, go take a break and come back soon. Marinette nodded and headed over to her purse where she had left her phone. She opened it and pulled out her phone.
Nino left me a voicemail?
She pressed on the notification and brought the phone to her ear.
Hello? Marinette's voicemail?
He paused.
This is Adrien, who has a message for you, of course, because it's your phone. So,
He chuckled.
Call me, see you later, bye!
There was a sound that made Marinette jump, and Adrien continued.
What? What did you expect me to say? Hey, cutie, this is Adrien. I asked you on a date to the movies, but I got such a crazy crush on you that the only way I can talk to you without foaming at the mouth is over this stupid phone. Pretty ridiculous, right?
The voicemail ended, and Marinette was left speechless.
Adrien likes me?
She screamed.
Wow, but why did that voicemail sound so familiar?
Marinette, are you ready? The photographer called. Marinette turned around.
Yeah, I am.
She shrugged and went back to the photo shoot. Part 9.
We have to delete that message from Marinette's phone before she sees it.
Adrien announced abruptly. We don't even know where she is. Nino reminded him. Adrien smirked, pulling down Marinette's entire schedule for the whole year in the middle of his room.
She should be at her photo shoot in the park right now.
Dude. Really? Nino said disappointedly. Adrien shrugged.
There's no time. Come on!
Adrien grabbed his phone and pulled open the trapdoor on the floor, almost tripping on the stairs and running out the back door of the bakery. The park was straight in front of him, and he ran even faster. His eyes lifted as he saw Marinette and the fountain, posing for another shot. Maybe she hadn't seen it yet.
There's her bag!
Adrien exclaimed as he saw it sitting on a picnic table. He ran over to it and opened it, searching for her phone.
Hey, Adrien.
Marinette said. Adrien turned around and noticed her phone in hand.
Hey, Marinette.
Adrien said awkwardly, trying to make it seem like he wasn't just looking through her stuff.
What are you looking for in my bag?
Marinette asked, a knowing look occupying her expression.
I was looking for your phone?
Adrien admitted, crossing his arms defensively.
So you could delete the voicemail you sent me.
Marinette speculated, watching Adrien's reaction.
No, not at all.
Adrien chuckled, moving a hand to dismiss the thought. Marinette shot him a look, and Adrien folded.
Did you listen to it?
The whole thing.
Adrien gulped.
I got you. It was a prank.
Oh! You got me. I really thought you liked me there for a second.
She laughed.
No way!
Adrien rolled his eyes to make it believable.
Right, because you're just a friend.
Marinette continued laughing. Adrien coughed.
Hey, yeah.
He stepped back and tripped over a rock.
Oh my god, Adrien, are you okay?
He held out a hand for him and he tentatively grabbed it.
Was it really a prank?
Marinette asked again.
Yeah, of course, totally.
He laughed nervously. Marinette looked at him in a way that told him she knew he was lying. He sighed.
Okay, maybe it wasn't.
Marinette frowned.
I'm sorry, Adrien. I can't return your feelings. I like someone else.
Adrien fiddled with the hem of his sweater.
Oh, that's fine. But is it okay if I ask who?
Marinette glanced around for a second.
Just don't laugh, okay?
He put his right hand up.
Bugs, I promise.
Marinette's eyes narrowed in recognition, but she shook it off.
It's Mr. Bug.
She bit her lip as she watched Adrien. Adrien smiled.
Wow, that's awesome. I'm so happy for you, Marinette.
Marinette blinked a couple of times.
I thought you liked me.
She leaned in a bit closer.
No, it's fine. You like Mr. Bug, so that's super cool. He's like a superhero after all. Why wouldn't you like him?
Adrien said.
Yeah.
She lost herself in thought for a second before shaking her head to bring her back.
Well, I have to get back to my photo shoot, so, see you around.
She twirled on her heel to leave, and Adrien watched in a daze.
She likes me, Tikki. Well, Mr. Bug, but that's me, so she likes me.
Adrien beamed.
Adrien, what are you going to do?
Tikki asked, noticing how Adrien looks like he's planning something. Adrien looked at Tikki.
I'm going to visit her later.
Adrien, you know that you can't use your miraculous for personal reasons.
Tikki squeaked.
But it could be used for superhero business. I could just come up with an excuse to see her.
Adrien explained.
I don't agree with this, but I trust you.
Tikki agreed reluctantly before whispering low enough he couldn't hear.
And I want to see my ship sail.
Part 10. Marinette sighed in awe. She'd been swiping through hundreds of photos of Mr. Bug for the past hour and trying to remember what it was like to have his lips on hers.
He's so amazing and hot.
She said giddily.
Whatever. Nothing is more amazing than cheese.
Plagg rolled his eyes, indulging into another wheel of cheese specifically ordered from Italy.
How can you like something that smells like it's been sitting in the trash for over a year?
Marinette plugged her nose and swatted the air around her to get rid of the smell.
Shh! You're talking about her right in front of her!
Plagg put his small hands on either side of the wheel to protect it from hearing the words.
Marinette face-palmed.
You're gross, Plagg.
Plagg shoved another piece of the cheese down his throat and Marinette gagged.
Ugh, I need to open a window. Ugh.
She grabbed the remote that controls the windows and she clicked a button, the window in the middle swinging open. Outside on the roof, Mr. Bug waited patiently.
And smiled as soon as she opened the window.
Perfect.
He thought, jumping onto the window frame as Plagg flew into the cabinet.
Marinette propped her legs on her desk as she continued scrolling through photos of Mr. Bug.
He's so perfect. His lips, so soft. His eyes, the perfect shade of green. And his hair, soft and just perfect.
Marinette sighed dreamily.
Mr. Bug gulped, staring with wide eyes at her.
Hello, Marinette.
Marinette whipped her head around and yelped.
Mr. Bug?
She fell out of her chair and quickly picked herself up.
Did you just hear me say that?
Maybe?
He glanced around. Marinette fell intentionally onto her bed and groaned. Mr. Bug jumped from his perch and sat next to Marinette.
Hey, don't be sad. Just because I heard that, it's kind of cute.
Marinette sat up, her feet dangling off the edge. She smiled and stared into his eyes. She blinked and lowered her gaze.
Why are you here? Aren't you dating Lady Noire? I saw you two kissing on the Mr. Blog.
She pointed towards her computer, which was displaying the Mr. Blog.
Oh no, we were just pretending we got Zombizou vibe.
He explained, scooting his hand towards her. She coughed and mumbled.
That's a long time to be kissing.
And finished with another cough.
Wait, so you don't like her?
No, I don't like her.
He paused.
Plus, her puns are kind of annoying.
Marinette tried to look unaffected on the outside, but was completely phased on the inside.
I can't help it. I'm urged to do it.
She thought.
Okay, so do you like someone?
She asked.
Yes. You?
He said.
What?
No, I meant yes. Who do you like?
He quickly said. Marinette chuckled nervously.
What? No, I don't like anyone.
He took her hand in his.
Marinette.
He looked into her eyes.
You look at me the way I look at the person I like.
Marinette blushed and her breath quickened. She bit her lip.
You?
She mumbled. He leaned in closer.
I heard that.
He whispered, his breath hot on her face. She backed away. How was she supposed to handle this? The guy she's been crushing on since forever snuck into her room and is now talking about their crushes.
What? What did I say?
He tucked a stray strand of hair behind her ear.
Don't worry, I like you too.
He whispered, softly flecking the side of her cheek. Marinette froze at the sudden action.
Wait, but why are you here? Am I in trouble? Did I do something wrong?
No, it's nothing. Don't worry. Well, I have to go on patrol now.
He paused and leaned onto the window.
I'll see you soon, princess.
Marinette's face glowed bright red.
He just called me princess.
Plagg flew out from his hiding spot, which is also a cheese paradise for him.
Cool, but don't you have patrol with him, right now?
Marinette was snapped from her trance.
Oh, right! Plagg, claws out!
Part 11.
Ugh, where's that cat?
Mr. Bug searched his surroundings once more.
Ugh.
There was a thud behind him and a voice followed.
Right behind you, Buggaboy.
He turned around.
Sorry I'm late. I had a thing to do.
She touched her cheek and a light blush blossomed under her hand.
Alright. Anyways, let's get this over with.
Mr. Bug's tone was slightly more irritated than normal. Lady Noire didn't understand why. He pulled out his yo-yo and spun it around.
What's the rush? Got a date?
She extended her staff and leaned on it.
Well, if you really want to know, yes. Well, unofficially, there's this girl I really like, and I think she likes me too.
His face softened at the thought of her. She leaned too hard against her staff and she stumbled. She regained her footing and continued.
So, who's the lucky girl?
Well, I'm sure you know her.
Lady Noire gulped.
And why is that?
Because she's famous. Marinette and
Her own name on his tongue sounded perfect. She smiled softly.
Oh, that's me.
Mr. Bug's face changed from admiration to confusion as he shot her a look.
What?
She realized what she said and quickly corrected herself.
You mean, me, best friend? Yeah! We saved her so many times she declared me her best friend.
She laughed.
You okay, Ellen?
He rested a hand on her shoulder, a concerned expression occupying his face.
Yeah.
She glanced at his hand on her shoulder.
Never better.
She chuckled.
Okay. So I want to continue patrolling. I can't wait to see my girlfriend.
Mr. Bug said ecstatically.
Yeah, we can make it quick.
She said, try not to sound suspicious anymore, and mumbled.
I can't wait to see you later, too.
Alright, see you tomorrow.
Mr. Bug pulled out his yo-yo to leave in the direction of Marinette's house.
Yeah, you too!
She tried to respond quickly before he got away.
Oh no, he's headed to my house.
She traveled quickly across Paris like her life depended on it. Well, it did if she didn't want her identity to be revealed. She jumped into her room and through her window, took a quick look around, and de-transformed.
Can you believe it, Plagg? He wants me to be his girlfriend!
She gossiped with Plagg.
I don't care.
He searched the room.
Where'd you put my cheese? You promised me cheese.
Ugh!
She said with a dramatic sigh.
I think it's in the cabinet.
Plagg flew over to the cabinet and flew back with cheese. He proudly showed off his camembert. As Plagg plopped the camembert on his mouth, Mr. Bug allowed himself in as he saw Marinette talking to something in the cabinet. They were both stunned, and Marinette tried not to look guilty. Mr. Bug broke the silence.
Mari, what was that? Is it a bird?
He thought. Marinette quickly reacted and said,
Oh, that was my cheese-obsessed Kwame thing.
Mr. Bug looked even more confused than he was before.
How do you know what a kwame is?
You gave me the most miraculous ones.
He narrowed his eyes on her.
No, I didn't. I gave the mouse miraculous to a boy named Adrien.
And that was Marinette's turn to furrow her eyebrows.
Then why do I remember having the mouse miraculous when we fought Kwame Buster?
Before Mr. Bug could reply, Plagg opened the cabinet with a container of cheese stuck on his head.
Marinette, help me, I'm stuck.
Plagg, no, you have to hide!
Marinette screamed. Plagg realized he could phase through objects and did just that, noticing Mr. Bug staring at him.
Oh,
Marinette turned her head to Mr. Bug.
Would you believe me if I told you that it's a new design my father is making?
He hesitated for a while before replying.
Nuh-uh.
Worth a try.
Finally, something interesting. We don't have to fight it. We can be the audience now, Marinette.
Plagg said enthusiastically while watching the news. Both Marinette and Mr. Bug's attention turned to the TV, where Clara Contard was explaining the situation with a new akumatized villain.
Don't be bemused, it's just the news. A new akumatized villain has been cited by the name of Dark Owl.
Mr. Bug turned his head to Marinette and smirked.
Ready, kitty?
Marinette's eyes grew wide.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Plagg rolled his eyes and said irritatedly,
Just transform already. Marinette shot Plagg a death stare.
Okay, fine. Plagg, claws out!
Her normal clothes changed into her skin-tight suit, and her shoulder-length midnight hair changed into a long braid which was almost black. Mr. Bug watched her transform, blushing at the sight of her.
I still can't believe that I didn't notice my girlfriend was Lady Noire.
Lady Noire stuttered.
I'm your girlfriend?
Her cheeks grew red.
If you want to be.
He smiled flirtatiously and winked at her. Lady Noire gulped.
Oh, I gotta think about that.
That was all she ever wanted, and now she was secretly overwhelmed with joy. She jumped onto the window frame and then onto a nearby rooftop.
Right behind you, kitty.
Mr. Bug grinned, following her out of the window. Part 12. Mr. Bug and Lady Noire, give me your Miraculouses! Hoo hoo! Dark Owl hooted. Mr. Bug hid behind the walls of the school, peeking ever so often to get a grasp of where Dark Owl was. He turned to Lady Noire.
We fought him before. This should be easy. Just go inside and cataclysm his computer.
Lady Noire smiled.
Yep, this'll be a piece of cake.
She winked at him before swiftly moving past him and extending her staff and opening the window into the principal's office. She heard Mr. Bug zip to the window and step inside with her.
Cataclysm.
She whispered under her breath, pressing her fingers into the screen of the computer. The monitor disintegrated, but no Akuma appeared.
What? Where's the Akuma?
Mr. Bug asked, sifting through the black powder even though he knew the Akuma couldn't be there.
Okay, well, I guess it's time for my lucky charm!
He threw his yo-yo in the air and watched as Dark Owl swooped in through the window and stole the lucky charm. Albert, enable the cage, Dark Owl spoke into a device. Suddenly, a cage dropped down onto them, and the ropes swung into action, tying their hands together and behind their back. They tried to pull away from the ropes, but realized they were attached to the floor. You fools! You won't defeat me a second time! Hoo-hoo! Dark Owl said menacingly. Lady Noire's ring beeped warningly.
I only have 4 minutes till I transform back.
She cried.
I already know your identity, princess.
Lady Noire still wasn't used to the new name, and she blushed. The floor opened, and they fell into a metal cargo box with no openings. They fell onto their butts, and Lady Noire groaned, hearing her ring beep again.
Wait, that means you probably only have the same amount of time, too.
She heard Mr. Bug's earrings beep, which only proved her suspicions.
That means I'm gonna find out your identity.
Part of her was sick to her stomach, but she was excited to finally know who he was.
Just close your eyes when I transfer back,
Mr. Bug said, resting the back of his head on the back of her head. She nodded slightly.
Fair enough.
Even though Mr. Bug was usually the plan maker, he found himself asking,
any ideas to get out?
Wait for me to transform again and I'll cataclysm this prison.
Mr. Bug smiled to himself.
Since when did you start coming up with good plans?
Lady Noire shrugged.
Guess you never took me seriously till you fell for me.
Her ring beeped once more, and Mr. Bug's earrings followed only seconds later. They waited the last 2 minutes out, and finally, Marinette's transformation wore off, and Plagg appeared from her ring.
Uh-oh. That means you'll change back any second.
Just close your eyes, princess.
Mr. Bug said as Marinette shut her eyes tightly. She felt his textured suit wither away, and she felt his warm skin against her own. Tikki flew above them into Plagg, who opened his mouth to speak, but Tikki covered his mouth. He glared at her. He flew past her and marked her.
Oh my god! Look, it's Adrien Agreste! Marinette! Adrien Agreste is Mr. Bug!
Marinette's eyelids flew open, a look of complete utter loss on her face.
Damn it, Plagg! We're trying to keep our identities a secret! No cheese for you!
Plagg's eyes widened.
Okay, I'm sorry, it's just... Tikki was telling me to be quiet, and I wasn't even talking, so I just had to. Just don't take away my precious cheese. Please, 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 please.
Okay! Fine, but only because I don't want to hear you whining.
Dang. I'm lucky he's not my Kwame.
Adrien chimed in.
So, it's you.
Marinette started.
Is that why you came to my house after my photo shoot? Because you knew I liked you?
Adrien was quiet for a moment.
Maybe. I really liked you, Marinette. I couldn't think of any way to tell you, so Nino told me to call you. I improvised. I'm so sorry for making that awkward.
No.
Marinette said.
Thank you. Because if you didn't do that, then you would never have found out that I like you. Well, the other you. but then this would have never happened.
I love the fact that we're making up, but we're all still trapped in this cargo box.
Tikki interrupted. Marinette got ready to say the transforming words, but was interrupted by Plagg.
Don't you dare transform when I'm starving.
Oh, right. Tikki, there are some macarons in my pocket.
Adrien said, in which Tikki nodded and grabbed the macaron sticking out of his sweater pocket. Marinette followed Adrien's actions and said,
Plagg, there's some camembert in my bag.
Plagg dove into her bag and pulled out a wedge of cheese. He sniffed it longingly. The room will start filling from the top with hot sauce. You'll die, slowly, painfully, but surely. Dark Owl sat on the intercom speakers in the school. As soon as the message ended, sprinklers above them began spewing hot sauce. Marinette recoiled into Adrien as the hot sauce flowed down her entire body. The hot sauce rose fast. By the time Plagg took his first bite, it was up to their elbows.
Hurry, Plagg!
Marinette urged the Black Wommy, trying to rise herself over the hot sauce.
Don't rush me.
Plagg exclaimed, his mouth full of cheese. Marinette rolled her eyes as the hot sauce rose to their necks.
I'm about to transform, so you better hurry or you won't get cheese for a while.
Plagg took one final bite and swallowed it whole.
Okay, I'm done. Poor cheese. I didn't have any time to enjoy you.
He thought.
Plagg, claws out!
Marinette exclaimed, her head tilted backwards to keep her head out of the hot sauce. In a flash of green, Marinette turned to Lady Noire and Adrien said behind her,
Use your nails to break through the rope.
She gasped for her final breaths of air.
Okay, hold your breath.
She held her breath and ducked her head under the hot sauce, her nails swiftly sawing through the ropes, binding their hands together. She was running out of air as she just finished cutting through the ropes, and they both pulled themselves to the top of the box where there was still a few inches of air. They gasped for air, choking on the hot sauce still flowing from the sprinklers.
Thank you. Tikki, spots on!
Adrien yelled, the red and black mask magically forming on his face.
Do your thing, milady.
Lady Noire stuttered.
Since when did you start calling me milady?
She asked.
I don't know.
He admitted, the hot sauce still rising.
It just felt familiar.
Lady Noire shrugged it off.
Cataclysm!
She yelled, pressing her palm to the wall of the cargo box. The metal walls turned to dust and it mixed with the hot sauce. Zarkov stared at them confused. But how did you get through the box? Part 13.
Lady
Noire stuttered.
A superhero never reveals their secret.
Mr. Bug wrapped an arm around Lady Noire's shoulder. Darko pulled out the same device he used before. Albert, enable the boosters.
That must be where the Akuma is.
Lady Noire pointed out.
Yeah, but what does he mean, boosters?
Mr. Bug asked. As if answering his question, the floor began shaking.
We're about to find out.
Lady Noire ran out of the room and into the courtyard, staring at the sky.
We're rising!
Mwahahaha, you will never escape now. Albert, enable the barriers. Dark Owl laughed. They saw thick metal bars enclosing them on the school. Mr. Bug ran to the entrance and shook the bars violently.
We're trapped! There's nowhere to go!
Not nowhere,
she remarked, grabbing one of the bars and pulling it away from the other one. It bent only slightly.
Help me,
she said as Mr. Bug grabbed the other bar and pulled in the opposite direction.
We almost got it.
Mr. Bug grunted, pulling harder than ever. The metal creaked, and soon enough the bars were far enough for Lady Noire to slip through and slide in between the bars.
I'll be right back. I'll recharge Plagg so I can cataclysm Dark Owl's device.
She looked away from him, about to jump away, but Mr. Bug grabbed her arm and she looked at him. He looked into her eyes, taking in her captivating stare.
Be careful,
she smirked.
I always am.
She winked and jumped off the rising platform. Mr. Bug blushed, watching her jump away and use her staff to stop her fall.
We have a lot to talk about.
Mr. Bug started. Defeating Dark Owl was surprisingly easy once Lady Noire came back with her recharged cataclysm. All they had to do was touch the remote with the cataclysm, and the end. Lady Noire nodded.
Mm-hmm.
He gave her a lopsided smile.
Wanna come over to my house? We have some vanilla eclairs left from today. They won't be good tomorrow.
Lady Noire smirked, her stomach taking over her thoughts.
Okay, I'm all for a sweet treat. Plus, if I said no, then Plagg would definitely kill me when I got home.
Mr. Bug chuckled.
Come on, we can go through my balcony.
He grabbed her hand, watching her cheeks redden. He smirked, liking the effect he had on her. He pulled her along rooftops, glancing over his shoulder every couple of seconds to make sure she was still following. Only a few minutes later, the aggressed bakery was coming up, and Mr. Bug had butterflies in his stomach. They landed on his balcony.
Welcome to my humble abode.
He smiled. Lady Noire giggled.
You know, I would say that you say that to every girl you brought here, but now that I know your identity, that idea's out the window.
He scoffed.
Wow.
He paused, his gaze softening.
But it's true. You're the first girl I've ever brought home.
She smiled.
Come on then.
She said, grabbing his hand.
Show me around.
He opened the hatch to his bed, which is relieving to see he made his bed that morning. He bounced on it just a bit, turning around to help Lady Noire down.
Claws in.
Lady Noire whispered, her costume magically withering away. Mr. Bug felt his cheeks warm, still shocked that the love of his life was his partner.
I guess it's my turn.
Mr. Bug asked, suddenly feeling awkward.
Spots off.
He finally said. He smiled sheepishly.
I guess I should go grab those eclairs.
He slipped down the stairs into the lower floor, leaving Marinette to herself. Marinette tentatively stepped down the stairs and looked around.
This looks so familiar.
She thought about it for a moment.
Oh, duh. I've been here before.
She picked up a pencil just as Adrien opened the hatch with a tray of vanilla eclairs and croissants.
I got stuff.
Marinette set the pencil down and noticed another small object. It was red and black and looked like something she had.
Hey, where'd you get this?
She picked it up.
I don't know.
He set the tray down on his desk and examined the USB in Marinette's hand.
Do you mind if I check it on your computer? I think I saw a similar one at my house.
Yeah, go ahead.
Adrien said, gesturing towards the computer. She reached for the space bar as he thought about it for a moment, realizing his home screen was filled with photos of her.
Wait, no!
Marinette stopped, turning to look at Adrien. Plagg flew up to the space bar.
Ooh, shiny. Is it edible?
Plagg bit down on the bar and the screen lit up, Marinette's face showing up. Adrien's face went red and he chuckled awkwardly.
It's not what you think. You're...
Plagg, that spacebar isn't even a bit shiny. In fact, it's very dull.
Marinette said, narrowing her eyes at Plagg.
I know. I just wanted to see what was on his computer that he didn't want us to see.
Plagg said cheekily. Marinette rolled her eyes.
Oh, wait, you don't care that your face is all over the screen?
He asked. She shrugged and shook her head.
Nah, I've seen my face everywhere.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, who would have your face underneath their mattress? Ha ha ha.
Plagg rushed.
I'm gonna go before this turns into a love fest. Sugar Cube, assist me in my journey to find my only true love.
Tikki scoffed.
What? Cheese?
Not just any cheese, he started. Camembert.
Part 14.
Plagg, get back here. You can't leave me and you have to be by my side just in case there's an Akuma.
Marinette said.
Relax, Marinette. I'm just gonna get some camembert.
He flew through the door.
No, my parents are sleeping on the couch.
Adrien lunged towards the trap door. He phased through, but it was too late. Tikki shook her head and sighed.
I'll go get him.
She phased through the trap door just as Plagg had done. Plagg flew around the small kitchen.
Wow, so much non-cheese stuff.
You better not cataclysm this whole house down, or even all of Paris.
Tikki warned him.
Relax, Sugar Cube. You're just like Marinette. You two were probably meant for each other. Besides, I only do things like that to the dinosaurs.
Uh-huh. And what about Atlantis?
Tikki scoffed.
Well, the people living there called me a selfish good-for-nothing, so I showed them that I'm good at removing rude people from the planet. And it left them speechless. Get it? Because they're too dead to speak.
Tikki gave him a disappointed look.
Plagg!
Emilie, honey, what are those things?
Plagg and Tikki whipped their heads around to see Gabriel and Emilie sitting on the couch, Gabriel watching the Kwamis.
What do you mean?
Emilie asked, turning around to see what Gabriel was looking at.
What in the world?
That's my cue to leave now.
Plagg chuckled, his eyes wide. Plagg began to fly away, but Tikki pulled him back.
What are you?
Gabriel asked, leaning closer to Tikki and Plagg.
Be careful, honey. They could be dangerous.
Emilie warned him.
Meow?
Tikki mewed with uncertainty. Plagg flew in front of Tikki, outstretched his arms, and cleared his throat.
We are cats of the future. We grant you one wish to those who are worthy.
Gabriel's eyes widened.
You mean any wish?
Plagg nodded.
Yes, any wish.
Emilie's eyes also widened.
Like literally any wish?
Yes,
Plagg rolled his eyes.
any wish.
Tikki whispered into his ears.
You know we shouldn't.
Plagg shrugged off Tikki.
And it can be used to bring a person back to life or kill someone.
Isn't that a little too, truthful?
Tikki whispered. Plagg hissed back.
Sugar Cube, you always told me to start telling the truth. Now that I'm doing it, you're telling me to stop?
Well, you know we shouldn't tell anyone about the miraculous and their powers.
Tikki protested.
Relax, Sugar Cube. I'll erase their memories and they won't remember anything.
Plagg whispered back.
And how are you planning on doing that?
She asked.
Cataclysm?
Plagg was cut off by the sound of footsteps behind them, and Tikki and Plagg turned around to see Adrien and Marinette stepping down the stairs.
Adrien, what are you doing awake? And who is that girl? And do you know what those things are?
Gabriel asked.
Oh, hi, Dad and Mom. This is,
He gestured towards Marinette.
Girlfriend.
Marinette replied, to which Adrien's parents glanced at each other. Adrien was caught off guard with that quick reply, so he stumbled on his words.
Yeah, and those are her super high-tech drones.
Mm-hmm. We used them to pull a prank on you guys.
She laughed sarcastically. Adrien outstretched both of his arms and grabbed both Plagg and Tikki. He flashed a smile to his parents.
Well, you guys better get some sleep.
With that, they both went up the stairs, avoiding an even awkwarder situation. Part 15.
What were you guys thinking? You could have done some serious damage.
Adrien shouted once they were in his room. Tikki flew up to him.
So basically, me and Plagg were talking, and then your parents saw us, and then Plagg started lying.
She was cut off by Plagg.
I was telling the truth.
He crossed his dark arms.
He was?
Marinette asked skeptically.
Well, kind of. He was telling your parents that we were cat genies, and we granted any wish.
Tikki continued.
But it is the truth.
Plagg interrupted.
So why exactly am I getting in trouble?
Well, we're not supposed to tell anyone about the miraculous and their powers.
Adrien said.
But what can you do?
Oh my god, Plagg, you could have gotten into serious trouble. If Adrien's parents knew that you were the Kwamis of Mr. Bug and Lady Noire, we could have gotten into some serious shit. What would happen if Adrien got his miraculous taken away because of you?
Plagg was hesitant, but eventually said,
Well, I could get it back.
But you can get caught again and get Mari's taken away instead.
Plagg rolled his eyes.
You guys are all party poopers.
My god, Plagg, you're such a dorkosaurus.
Marinette shot Tikki a look.
Tikki, have I ever said that to you? Like the dorkosaurus part?
She asked.
I don't think so. Maybe. I'm pretty sure Adrien said that to me once when he was writing you that love letter.
Adrien's face flushed at the mention of the letter.
Wait, what love letter?
Marinette asked.
It was like a heart-shaped piece of paper that answered your poem Adrien sent to you for Valentine's Day.
Tikki explained. Something clicked inside of Marinette's head.
Wait, Adrien, you wrote that? That was like the first letter I opened that day. I thought I was never gonna find out who wrote it, so I stopped investigating.
Adrien chuckled.
Well, yep, that's me.
Plagg picked up the USB drive.
Anyway, what's on this stick?
Oh, that? I don't know. I don't even remember having it.
Adrien took the USB from Plagg and inserted it into the USB port on his computer. Marinette settled into the rolling chair and the screen lit up the small room and he navigated through the files. There was a file titled, "This is also just in case." He clicked on it, a bunch of photos and a couple of videos popping up.
Wait, hold on. Is that me?
Marinette asked, recognizing herself on the screen.
Why do I have your miraculous?
Adrien paused.
I don't know.
He turned to her.
Maybe it's some sort of alternate universe.
He stared into her eyes and raised his eyebrows. She shifted her gaze between his eyes before backing up.
Don't be silly. There's no such thing as an alternate universe.
She rolled her eyes to look at Plagg.
Ooh, shiny. Can I eat it?
He flew over to the case that shut him inside of it. He hissed.
Plagg, that's my magic box!
He grabbed the key and shoved it in, letting Plagg out.
Your what?
Marinette asked.
It's the box that holds my journals, so no one could take it.
Adrien explained, a little embarrassed about his journal.
He writes everything inside of it.
Tikki added. Marinette's eyes widened.
Even his biggest secret?
She asked. Tikki nodded.
I told him not to, but he still did.
May I?
Adrien nodded. Marinette picked up the book and flipped through the first few pages.
Oh yeah, I remember when you won that derby hat contest. That was an amazing hat, by the way, other than the feathers.
She laughed to herself.
Oh yeah, why did you wink at me that one day?
Adrien asked her.
I guess I liked you, but I liked Mr. Bug more, so I guess I just pushed those feelings down inside of me.
She shrugged. Adrien looked away before returning his gaze back to her.
You know, I never saw you as the flirtatious type, Marinette. But knowing you're Lady Noire makes me question your real personality.
I guess you'll have to figure that out.
She smirked before turning to the computer.
But now we should check the rest of the USB, just in case we might need it.
Yeah, we should.
They scrolled through the photos, falling down even further down the rabbit hole of confusion.
That's so weird. Most of these are photos of me with your Miraculous and you with mine.
She was right. There are many photos of Marinette with the Ladybug Miraculous, yo-yoing across the city.
Yeah, that's odd. Wait, look, there's a video. Maybe to explain why.
Adrien clicked on the video and they saw themselves, but different. It was Marinette and Adrien, but with swapped Miraculouses. They were both confused as hell.
Hey, if you ever watch this in the future and our lives are weird, it was caused by an akuma. In our real reality, things are way different.
The boy in the black cat costume started. The blue-haired bug took over.
So there's a villain by the name Lady Reverser. They're a mix of Lady Wi-Fi and Reverser. They're much stronger than last time. They can change the course of life, and they may change ours.
She gestured towards the both of them.
It may feel like you've been living in this life forever, but we live in a different world, or universe, if you will.
Adrien turned to Marinette, who fought the urge to say,
Alternative universes, see? You may be asking yourself, why Bunnix didn't help? And the answer is because I may have accidentally
He was cut off by the bug.
Don't say it!
Oh, right.
So we used this cataclysm.
And I damaged her Miraculous.
The blonde finished. The alternate universe Marinette in costume sighed.
So now we have to find a way to fix our realities. We don't know where the Akuma is.
But we do remember an Uno game.
And before you ask, no, we don't know our secret identities.
He smirked.
But maybe in this reality we do.
She rolled her eyes.
Okay, anyway.
She glared at the boy.
We haven't found the Akuma, which means that it is somewhere in Paris. Lady Reverser is still technically akumatized, but they're just dormant, basically. It's up to you guys to find the Akuma and de-evilize it if things go south and we get transferred to an alternate universe.
The thing is, we don't know if we'll remember our identities when we fix everything. So, just in case you do, we'll have to put that aside and focus on defeating Hawkmoth. Yes, I know it's going to be hard, especially if Ladybug finds out who I really am.
The black cat joked to the apparently named Ladybug. She elbowed him in the ribs and he doubled over before continuing.
Just know, you can't let your civilian form get the best of you.
Ladybug nodded.
All you have to do is look for the Akuma and fix everything with your miraculous ladybugs. Good luck, alternate S.
The video ended and Adrien and Marinette were left in shock. It was a lot to take in, and the reality was setting in. Their entire lives were a lie. How could that be true? Everything had felt so real. There is no way that everything they'd ever gone through was a dream, created by a villain.
Are you okay, Adrien?
Marinette asked, grabbing his hand. He slowly turned to her and nodded.
I think I just need a bit of space right now.
We haven't finished looking through the USB. There could be something...
Marinette started. He unplugged the USB and handed it to her.
Here, if you don't mind, can you take it?
Yeah, sure.
She took the USB and started up the stairs. She looked back at him, his head in his hands. Something was off. Part 16. The very next day at school, Marinette could not help but be concerned for Adrien, but was interrupted by Miss Bustier.
Rose?
Miss Bustier asked, waiting for a response.
Present!
Rose said in reply. Miss Bustier continued down the attendance sheet.
Marinette?
Present!
Marinette replied on cue after she had waited for her name to be called.
Where's Adrien?
She thought subconsciously. Miss Bustier moved on and called for her.
Alia?
He was next on the list.
Present.
Alia said in response. She looked over at Marinette, who looked worried. She nugged Marinette and whispered.
Why are you so worried?
Me? Worried? What do you mean?
She responded in a sarcastic tone while she squeezed her pencil and broke it without realizing.
You broke your pencil.
She pointed out. Marinette looked down and saw the broken pencil in her hand.
Oh.
She responded guiltily.
So, why are you so worried?
Alia interrogated. Marinette felt embarrassed and mumbled.
Adrien's not here.
Alia clearly heard what she had said.
Since when did you start caring about Adrien?
Marinette didn't know how to reply to this. She slowly started, hoping something or someone would interrupt their conversation. Thankfully, the door flew open and someone walked in. Adrien had walked in, which relieved her, and she let out a sigh. Miss Bustier noticed Adrien walk in.
Oh, Adrien, I was about to mark you absent. Now that everyone's here, let's start with the lesson.
Alia nudged Marinette once again and whispered.
Girl, really, when did you start caring about Adrien? I mean, you always call him just a friend.
Marinette whispered back to Alia.
I guess I sorta like him.
Alia whispered loudly.
You like Adrien?
Shh!
Marinette whispered back loudly, hoping Adrien wouldn't hear.
Wait, does he know?
Alia whispered back in curiosity. Marinette didn't know if she wanted to tell her the truth or not. Luckily, Miss Bustier finally gave up her patience.
Marinette, Alia, we are in the middle of class. Save your chatting for after class, okay?
Marinette felt bad and replied with,
Okay, sorry, Miss Bustier.
Miss Bustier continued.
Okay, back to what I was saying. Charles Dickens used perfuse.
The class went by like it was nothing, and all the students were dismissed to go home for the day. Alia and Marinette walked down the stairs together when Alia asked,
Hey, Marinette, want to come over so we can work on the project?
Marinette quickly responded.
Oh, yeah,
She stopped as soon as she saw Adrien and changed her answer.
Oh, wait, I forgot. I have a photo shoot.
Alia sighed.
Oh, one of these days I'm going to make you miss your photo shoot so we can hang out.
Yeah, that would be nice. Well, anyway, see you later.
Marinette cheerfully said. Meanwhile, Adrien and Nino were by the front of the school by the sidewalk. Want to hang out? I want to ask me to the Mr. Blog, and you're the only one who can help. Nino asked.
Why would you say that?
Adrien laughed nervously. Because you're my only friend that I can trust with this, Nino stated. Adrien sighed in relief.
Yeah, shit.
He paused as he saw Marinette walking towards him.
Actually, I promised my dad I would help him in the bakery today. Sorry.
Nino sighed in annoyance. Oh, it's fine. I guess I'll just do it myself. Nino said goodbye and walked home. Soon after, Marinette ran over to Adrien.
Why were you late to class? I was so worried.
Marinette interrogated him.
Don't worry, I just slept in. That's always why I'm late.
He responded calmly. Marinette was relieved and hugged him.
I thought something happened to you.
Adrien hugged her back.
Don't worry, I can protect myself.
He winked at her.
Hey, you're stealing my personality.
Marinette said with a smirk while playfully hitting him. Adrien laughed.
So, what are you doing now?
He asked.
Well, I have a photo shoot, but you can come if you want. I'm free after.
She stated.
Okay, maybe after we can look for that Akuma the video was talking about.
He said.
Yeah, sounds good. Let's go.
She said as she started to walk to where the car was parked. Adrien accidentally and coincidentally tripped on nothing, bumping into Marinette and fell on top of her.
I still don't get how you're Mr. Bug.
Marinette laughed as Adrien got up and helped her up. They reached the car, and as soon as she reached the door, Natalie interrupted her.
Marinette, you have a photo shoot at the park in 2 minutes.
Thank you, Natalie. Is it okay if I bring a friend with me?
Marinette asked.
Of course.
Natalie replied. Part 17. Adrien and Marinette sat in the back seat of the car, awkwardly staring at Natalie and Gorilla. Adrien leaned over to Marinette.
Yeah, I was confused when Master Fu gave me the miraculous. I literally dropped a whole box of macarons on him.
She giggled quietly.
Oh, wow.
Her giggle calmed down.
When he gave me my miraculous, I literally just helped him up.
She whispered back. Adrien jokingly opened his mouth in shock.
Oh, that's so not fair. I literally ran in the middle of the street to stop him from getting hit from a car, and you just helped him up?
He groaned mockingly. Marinette giggled at the boy's sarcastic words. She turned her head and looked out the window, the blonde boy doing the same. They both admired the beautiful architecture in the City of Love. After a few minutes of admiring the sights, the car slowed down to a stop. Natalie turned around to the two of them.
We are here,
she said with no emotion whatsoever. Marinette reached for the door handle.
Thank you, Natalie.
She opened the door and climbed out, Adrien following behind her. They swiftly moved towards the photographer in the middle of the park. Marinette turned around to Adrien.
You can sit on that bench over there. When I finish, we can go look for the Akuma,
she said. He nodded.
Okay, princess.
Her cheeks slightly turned red at the nickname.
I see you after,
she said and headed to the fountain. Throughout the photo shoot, Marinette did various poses, obliging to whatever Vincent, the photographer, said, but then he groaned in frustration. Ugh! No, this needs... He looked around the park and spotted Adrien sitting on a bench. Love. Vincent abandoned Marinette and ran over to Adrien. Sir, will you pretend to be in love with the model Marinette Dupanchang? He asked the blonde. Adrien looked up in confusion. He glanced towards Marinette.
Sure?
Marinette blushed slightly when she saw Vincent dragging the boy over to Marinette. He placed Adrien's hands on Marinette's waist and pushed them closer together. Marinette gulped at the distance. Vincent snapped a few shots but then sighed. There's love, but not enough. He rubbed his chin and thought, oh, I know. Kiss the lady. Adrien and Marinette turned their heads in shock.
What?
Adrien turned to Marinette.
We've kissed before. It's not any different.
He whispered.
Yeah, but this time people will be watching, and they'd see it.
She whispered.
And make it go faster.
Marinette sighed.
Fine, let's just do it. Plus, you are my boyfriend after all.
She looked towards the floor. Adrien turned toward Vincent.
Okay, we'll do it.
Adrien looked back at Marinette and slowly moved in, meeting his lips with hers. They closed their eyes in comfort, embracing the kiss as if they were in private. In the background, they hear the sound of a camera shuttering, but not just one. Multiple. All right, you are done, Vincent said. They break apart and see people surrounding them with their phones out, taking pictures of their kiss.
Oh, God,
Marinette said under her breath. Adrien groaned.
Let's get out of here.
He took her hand and started running out of the park. They stopped to catch their breath until they heard the familiar chime of the news channel.
Don't be bemused. It's just the news. I just got multiple texts from many people with the same photo.
A photo of Adrien and Marinette kissing pops up on the screen.
Daughter of the famous fashion designer Tom Dupanchang, Marinette, the model, has been caught kissing her boyfriend, son of the best bakers in town, Adrien Agreste.
Nadja said on the screen. Marinette threw her head back in frustration.
We need to leave. Now!
She started running through the streets.
Fake news, everybody!
Adrien joined in and helped her scream.
What she said!
They continued running, and Adrien lowered his voice that only she could hear him.
I mean, they have a point. We are dating after all.
Marinette looked at the boy.
Yeah, but my dad can't know that.
She grabbed Adrien's hand and yanked him forward, almost causing him to fall. Meanwhile, with Tom, he slammed his hands down on the console. What? My own daughter? Dating the son of a baker? And she never told me? That will make the most perfect Akuma. Back to Marinette and Adrien. Marinette paced back and forth until she felt a vibration in her pocket. She grabbed her phone and stared at the screen.
Oh no, my father is calling me.
Adrien gulped.
Okay, so, you should probably answer.
Right.
She tapped the answer button.
Father?
Marinette, I didn't know you had a boyfriend. Adrien Agreste, is it? Tom said through the phone.
Yes.
Well, I'd like to meet him. She stares in shock. Did you hear me, Marinette?
Yes, father.
The phone then hung up, and she turned to Adrien.
My father, he wants to meet you.
Part 18.
Father, are you here?
Marinette asked, her voice echoing in the large space. That was the weird thing about the Dupanchang mansion. So large when there were only 2 people living there. That's the thing about being rich. You could waste away some pennies on a giant house. Tom walked down the marble staircase, his polished shoes clicking against the rock. Marinette and Adrien didn't move an inch as they waited for Tom to reach the landing. Hello, Marinette. He turned to look at Adrien, his eyes narrowing. Adrien Agreste. Adrien gulped. His voice went tight.
Yes, I'm Adrien Agreste. Oh, you said that.
He paused.
I won that derby hat competition that you judged a while ago, and Marinette wore it on a runway.
Tom nodded slowly. Yes, I remember you. How long have you been seeing my only daughter? He asked. Adrien's palms grew sweaty, knowing that the answer might tick him off.
It's a very recent thing, sir.
He cleared his throat.
It started,
He dropped his voice and looked over at Marinette, who was turning red.
Yesterday?
Tom's eyes narrowed even further at Adrien. And you're already showing public affection? Both Marinette and Adrien coughed at his choice of word.
Well, we've been talking for a while, and we were really good friends before we started dating.
Tom ignored this. I do not permit you to date my daughter. He turned to leave. Adrien felt himself sink down.
What? What? Why not?
Tom stopped and turned back around. I am her father, and I choose what is best for her, he yelled, his voice sounding even louder in their environment. Marinette stepped forward, her demeanor almost matching her father's.
Father, how could you say that? I love him!
Tom turned to Marinette and stared at her. Marinette, he said sternly, you will not disobey me. Marinette stood there for a moment, fighting with herself. She gave in after a few seconds.
Yes, father.
He looked down to the ground. Adrien turned to Marinette and furrowed his eyebrows.
Marinette!
Natalie, see this boy out, Tom directed. Natalie moved from her station and grabbed Adrien's arms, pulling him towards the door. He resisted and tried to grab Marinette's arm, to get her to realize what she just said. He couldn't, though. She was lost in a trance. The bodyguard pushed Adrien, who was struggling to hold onto the doorframe.
Marinette!
He screamed, out of breath. Marinette turned slowly to him, her face unreadable. Stay, Tom instructed, noticing her movement. Marinette looked back at Tom, then to Adrien, who was holding onto the frame of the door for his life. The bodyguard and Natalie began closing the door, forcing Adrien out.
Marinette!
He screamed. Tom pretended as if Adrien wasn't there. Go to your room, Marinette.
Yes, father.
Marinette said, her eyes not leaving the floor in front of her. Part 19. Marinette closed the door behind her and sat against her bed. Plagg flew out from her shirt and sat there waiting and watching, but she just kept staring at the wall.
Marinette, are you okay? You've been staring at that wall for one too many hours.
Plagg asked.
I don't know, Plagg. I just feel weird.
Marinette responded, her voice sounding off. Plagg scrunched his eyes.
I'm not following.
Plagg, I've never felt this.
She found out her fingers, trying to escape her feelings.
Not until now.
What?
Plagg still didn't understand.
This feeling like I can't do anything but
what? Plagg interrupted.
But obey.
Marinette finished her sentence. She couldn't help but think about her and her father and the relationship they have. She always follows his instructions and orders. She followed everything to the T and pleased him, but not herself. She wanted to be happy too. Her phone buzzed 100 times. She picked it up to notice Adrien had messaged her. This was her sign and a sign of hope. She turned off her phone and started walking toward the door.
Marinette, what are you doing?
Plagg asked.
I'm going to talk to my father.
She explained as she stopped by the door.
I don't think he'll like that.
Plagg said.
I don't care if he'd like it or not, I need to know why.
Marinette stated.
What?
Plagg quickly said as she opened the door, walked out, and closed it.
Marinette!
Marinette walked down the stairs with a lot of anger in each step. She didn't hesitate to open the door to his office.
Father, I need to talk to you,
she said loud and proud. Tom looked away from his computer and looked at Marinette. Marinette, didn't I tell you to go to your room? He said sternly. Marinette didn't know how to respond. She looked at his hand and noticed he was wearing a ring. She then looked at his tie. There was something there that was small but visible. It was a brooch. Something clicked inside of her head. It would explain why he was always working and explain the comedically timed akumas. She followed his command with,
Yes, Father,
and went to her room.
My father, he's...
She whispered on her way back to her room. She finally understood why her father said no to doing stuff with her and instead worked 24/7. All this time, all she wanted was to have a father, but her father wanted power. She couldn't believe it.
How could my father do this?
She opened the door and shouted,
Plagg, claws out!
She had been transformed into Lady Noire and stomped on the stairs back to the office door. She swung the door open and shouted,
Father, how could you?
Tom was shocked to see Lady Noire. Lady? He paused and realized that she called him father. She looked at the splitting image of his daughter, but with Lady Noire costume and a long braid. Marinette, my own daughter? He thought. Marinette? He shouted back in shock.
Yeah, it's me, Shadow Moth.
She started loudly, walking closer, and acknowledged that her father was Shadow Moth. Nuru, Dusu, unify! Tom transformed into Shadow Moth, which equaled the playing field. He continued, I was doing it for us, Marinette.
Us? You terrorize the city for us?
She was shocked at the answer he gave. Shadow Moth calmed down a little bit. Marinette, you don't understand.
Understand? Understand, then make me understand, Father.
Marinette shouted and lunged forward with her cataclysm. Shadow Moth opened the floor to the basement before she could run at him. He turned around to find Marinette with her cataclysm. Marinette! He grabbed his staff and hits her in the stomach so hard she falls through the hole in the floor. Surprisingly, Mr. Bug was nearby and rushed to find Marinette. Mr. Bug found a window and climbed down into her basement. He watched the aftermath of Lady Noire's fall. He rushed over to help her out and dragged her over to the other side of the bridge. Lady Noire's cataclysm extinguished as she woke up. Give me your miraculous, Marinette! Shadow Moth shouted from inside of the elevator. Mr. Bug stepped aside and hid from Shadow Moth. Lady Noire got up using her stick and locked eyes with Shadow Moth.
Never!
Shadow Moth walked forward psychotically. Marinette, you don't understand. I'm trying to bring back your mother. Lady Noire stood her ground.
My mother is dead.
Shadow Moth had already made it to the other side of the bridge. No, was the only thing he said. He passed her up and walked to the rectangular object in the middle of the man-made island. He opened the first layer to the coffin where Sabine rested. Lady Noire's eyes widened as she falls to the floor.
No, that's not real.
Oh, it's real, all right, Marinette. This is what all of this was for. To bring back your mother. My lovely wife, Shadow Moth said while turning towards her. All of this was for her mom, who was long gone whether or not she's actually alive. What she knew was true was that he didn't deserve his miraculous.
Give me your miraculous!
She shouted. No, never. I won't stop until your mother is back, and you'd be perfect to help me do that, he said as he let out an akuma.
No!
Mr. Bug shouted as he jumped out from behind a bush and used his yo-yo to purify the Akuma. You! He stated as he gave him a spiteful look and released an amok that instantly went into the ring. He created a sentimon so that there was a tiny bug that ate anything and multiplied by the second.
No!
Lady Noire shouted, realizing what had just happened.
Marinette, it's okay. We could easily destroy the ring.
Mr. Bug comforted her.
No, you don't understand. If you destroy the ring, you kill me.
She cried as the tears fell.
What do you mean, Marinette?
He asked worriedly.
Adrien, I'm a sentimonster.
She said. She just blurted it out. Mr. Bug was in complete shock, but thought for a moment to try and save her.
There's a way we can save you.
Lady Noire was confused as Shadowmoth scared them into a corner.
What? How? We're cornered.
Well, no, not exactly. This is just some alternate reality caused by an Akuma. If we can find that card...
Mr. Bug stated. Lady Noire realized what he was saying and nodded.
We can save everyone.
Mr. Bug. In agreement. Part 20. Later with Lady Noire and Mr. Bug.
Where do we start?
Lady Noire asked. Mr. Bug contemplated ideas as what to do.
Maybe I could use my lucky charm to see if it has any clues for us.
He said, more as a question than an answer.
Okay, yeah, do that.
Lady Noire said.
Lucky charm!
Mr. Bug exclaimed, causing a red glow to cover the area. After the red dissipates, a keychain with multiple keys dangling fell into his hands.
How is that supposed to help us?
Lady Noire asked while pointing to the keychain.
I have no idea.
He said, then went silent thinking about what to do. After a few moments of silence, Lady Noire said,
Maybe the Eiffel Tower?
Mr. Bug looked at her with confusion.
What?
Just hear me out. The Eiffel Tower has a locked box at the very top. No one's been able to open it because they lost the keys.
Lady Noire said, her tone shifting up at the end of the sentence. Mr. Bug started smiling.
You're a genius, milady.
Lady Noire extended her stick and shot towards the Eiffel Tower, Mr. Bug following behind her. They both reached the top of the Eiffel Tower.
Okay, just look around. Check over there.
Lady Noire said, pointing in a different direction. Mr. Bug ran over and started searching for a random thing, any boxes of some sort. Lady Noire did the same thing. She started pulling on doors until one of them didn't open.
This one, it's locked.
Lady Noire said. Mr. Bug ran over with the keys.
But which key?
He said. Lady Noire studied the keys.
Maybe that one?
She said, pointing to a key that looked similar to the keyhole. Mr. Bug grabbed the key, inching closer to the keyhole, but then the tower started shaking.
What is that?
Lady Noire screamed. The tower started leaning, causing the duo to slide into a wall.
The bugs!
The tower leaned more so they were almost walking on the walls. They braced for impact, but it never came.
Why isn't it falling?
Lady Noire asked. Mr. Bug looked around.
This is what they want. To corner us.
They began to hear chirping from above them.
They're coming into the top! Hurry, put it in!
Lady Noire screamed. Mr. Bug shoved the key into the hole and turned it, making a small click sound resonate through the room.
I got it!
Mr. Bug exclaimed. They opened the box to see a slightly purple-tinged Uno card. Mr. Bug grabbed the card and tore it in half.
Bye-bye, little butterfly.
Mr. Bug turned to Lady Noire.
Promise you won't forget me?
Lady Noire smiled.
Never.
She leaned towards him and kissed him. The floor started to give out from underneath, causing them to start falling.
Miraculous Mr. Bug!
They both screamed as they fell, but then their screams faded into the distance, until it was silent. Ladybug's eyes shot up, looking around the room she was in, the one at the top of the Eiffel Tower. She looked around until she spotted a black blob in the middle of the floor.
Sha!
She ran over to him. He started stirring.
Huh?
He then sat up.
Sha!
She wrapped her arms around him in a tight embrace.
What? Who are you?
Shad asked Ladybug, causing her to let go.
Sha?
She sighed.
I'm just a friend.
She faked a smile. Shat looked at her expression.
Friend, huh? I'm pretty sure the girl of my dreams is more than just a friend.
He said, then smiled. She gasped and lightly hit his arm.
Sha, you stupid cat!
She then hugged him again.
I thought you...
He chuckled.
Sorry, princess. I couldn't help but do that.
he said into her ear while hugging her back. She let go and was met with his smile.
And you thought that was funny? You had me halfway to death,
she said. He looked away while smiling.
And it made you love me.
She grabbed his chin and forced him to look at her.
Shut up and kiss me already.
He smiled and leaned into her, meeting his lips with hers. She giggled into the kiss, wrapping her arms around his neck. Yeah, this was the world she wanted to live in.
A sugar cube. Look, they made it to the end.
Well, that's really cool. But I told you not to call me that anymore.
I said you can call me Stinky Sock.
I'm not gonna call you Stinky Sock.
Why not?
Because it's a stupid name.
But I'm like a Stinky Sock. That's the point of the nickname.
But it's still stupid. Like you.
That's not nice.
You're not nice. You call me names that I don't like to be called.
Exactly. I'm the not nice one. You're meant to be the nice one.
Oh, what if I don't want to be nice anymore?
You're literally the Kwame of creation. You're meant to be nice. Heh, speechless. I win.
You want to fight?
Yeah, we can fight. I'd literally cataclysm you.
No, I'm better than you. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'd win.
I can make anything that I want, and I could kill you with it.
And I can destroy said thing.
Yeah, just like the dinosaurs.
Okay.
You really can't do anything right. Because anything you can do, I can do better.
Huh.
I can do anything better than you. No, really.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Anything you can be, I can be greater. Sooner or later, I'm greater than you.
I know you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am, Sugar Cube. I can shoot a partridge with a single cartridge.
I can get a sparrow with a bow and arrow.
I can live on mostly cheese.
And only on that.
Yes.
So can a rat.
And you know, you can reach, I can go higher.
What are you talking about? I can sing anything higher than you.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
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 Damn.
Yeah. Anything you can buy, I can buy cheaper. I can buy anything cheaper than you.
50 cents.
40 cents.
30 cents.
20 cents.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
Anything you can say, I can say softer.
I can say anything softer than you.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you... Nah, I can drink my liquor faster than a flicker.
Well, I can drink it quicker and get even sicker.
I can open any safe.
Without being caught.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought, you crook.
Well, I can hold any note longer than you.
What are you talking about? I can hold it longer.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Plagg, shut the up.
Oh, it looks like we have to go.
Yeah. Okay.
I win.
Yeah. You win, Tikki.
Yeah, that's what I thought, you
You okay?
Okay, let's fight.
You got some skibbity toilet riz. And you would like turn around and be like, "What?" And Plagg's like, "Yeah, you got some stibbity toilet riz. You got a yacht of 3,000."
Your riz is not working on me. With the smolder.